H.P. Lovecraft is probably one of the most influential writers of all time, considering how he basically alone created the whole Cthulhu mythos with his writings, mostly short stories, but also novel and whatnot. Now, this has clearly influenced a lot of metal bands as well, and one of those is a German band called Sulphur Aeon, which we have here for review. So, my German friends, let's take a look on this fine album. Band has existed since 2010, but basically during the last 5 years, it's when these German guys have been creating all their albums. This is one particularly great looking CD, which we're just gonna take a look here. First, remove the slipcase here, which is featuring kind of a Lovecraftian creature on the front. As you can see, this is kind of a silvery color here, and also the track list with the logo. As you can see, lots of upside down crosses, inverted crosses, which I don't know how they fit actually Cthulhu mythos, but hey, who I am to judge. Then we have this fine looking cover image, which is also in the background. You can take a look probably a little bit later. And also this great looking digipack, threefold as such. And another look, as you can see, very Cthulhuan themes here. Then finally some band picture. Let's also remove this CD, which just shows you the same picture underneath. And what we have here is a booklet, more on the same graphic theme. Inside, more imagery, some lyrical content. Gotta say, this is one of the most gorgeous releases, visually that is, that I've gotten for a while. I really am a big fan of, well, digipacks in general, but also if there's a slipcase and good looking cover and all that stuff. So very neat release as such. And one could say this reminds of a black metal release, well, visually anyway. But that's a little bit off, because what Sulphur Aeon is all about is death metal. Now, this is more of a modern type of death metal, so don't get this confused with, like early bands such as D-Side, Obituary and whatnot, but more like modern days Behemoth. Whereas Behemoth is clearly flirting with satanic topics, devil worship and whatnot, Sulphur Aeon is all about H.P. Lovecraft. Well, all in all, I don't know all their albums through and lyrics back and forth, but, well, that's the general impression that I got when checking out for this particular album and other information. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, and there are lots of Lovecraft fans, so this is kind of a smart missile to those people, those addresses. So music-wise, this is a lot to do with Behemoth's style of combining the black metal essence into music, which then again sounds more like death metal. That is these kind of heavy guitars, rolling vocals, and just generally a kind of a death metal feeling. Now, certainly there is more black metalist vibes here than just the ways the songs are put out, but I would say it's not more than maybe a quarter of this whole thing. Now, when I say modern type of death metal, it's kind of a hard to pinpoint, in my opinion. There are like no other clear examples than Behemoth. So this is kind of a hybrid, but so much more focused with this death metal, be it about faster parts, slower parts, or these, chaotic notes that just come out of the guitars, that if I wouldn't be told and I had a little bit pause with, say, Behemoth's late albums, I could easily just think that I'm, listening to Behemoth. And by the way, it's not a bad thing. I mean, Behemoth is so much enjoying their success, and there are lots of people which I got to witness just a few days prior to this one in Helsinki, that Behemoth had a sold out venue. So in that respect, there's no wonder that these kind of a Behemoth copycats. Note my quotation marks here. I'm not saying that Sulphur Aeon is doing their music just because Behemoth is doing what they do, but it feels a little more than just a coincidence to hear them play kind of exactly the same kind of music. Now, for those fans, this is, like I said, a good album. What about the rest then? For old school death metal heads, this might be a little bit off. I'm not saying it's too shabby an album. Actually, it's quite good. But it's still lacking something on its own. It's still lacking something really catchy, really kind of a level of intensity. It might be in need of violence. It might be in need of more catchy riffs, more compact songs that just would give these hard blows like that. Now it's just like a nice album, but it's still lacking something majestic from the level of absolute greatness. Without further ado, I urge you to check out those samples yourself from the links included and decide for yourself. But I would say, Behemoth fans, make no mistake, this is your cup of tea. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good day, listen to some brutal stuff, and see you in the next review. Bye bye.